In a nutshell, the fifth episode of Season 2 of 1923 depicts everyone heading there but not arriving. I know that sounds like what has been going on in the last few episodes, when all we've seen is Tiana and her crew fleeing Marshall Kent, Spencer fleeing to Montana, and Alex fleeing across America to find her child's father. At the present, I'm not sure how long they'll stay running. Given the fantastic pace of this season, I suppose it's safe to assume that a final battle between Whitfield, Banner, and Spencer will take place somewhere between the 7th and 8th episodes. Nonetheless, returning to the recap of this episode, Tiana, Alex, and Spencer have just run into some more problems on their separate travels, so without further ado, let's take a closer look at that. Kent very likely kills Pete. In the middle of their journey, Pete decided to leave the party to find some water for the horses. However, Runs, knowing how hazardous these areas may be, did not want Pete to separate from the rest of them. He thought riding alone would be risky since he might get lost, but Pete promised the love of his life, Tiana, that he wouldn't go too far and would return soon. In the final scene of episode 5, Pete spotted an animal and began after it, hoping it would bring him to a pool of water, only to discover Kent and Renaud had already been there. They were watering their horses when they noticed Pete in the distance and began following him. During the chase, Pete's horse stumbled, and he collapsed. He swiftly got out his firearm and pointed it at Kent before the screen went black. In the final scene of 1923 episode 5, we heard 3 shots fired, 2 of which I believe were from Kent's handgun, who, as a police officer, was a better marksman than Pete. Kent's shooting abilities had already been demonstrated in previous episodes, when he single-handedly shot down several innocent Native Americans in the dark of night. In summary, Kent has a better chance of surviving the clash than Pete, hence, it's not unreasonable to think Kent murdered Pete in the shootout. This would most certainly give Tiana even more motivation to destroy the wicked guys who stole everything she loved. They murdered her cousin, Grandma, and now her love. It's clear that no one could save Kent and Renaud except Marshall Mummy Fawcett, who could apprehend them before they faced the woman's fury. So 1923 returns, and Spencer's and Alex's quests continue to encounter bumps in the road. Given the length of time we're spending with both individuals, the program is clearly dragging out their respective rides for the purpose of it. Unfortunately, we only have 3 episodes left, and it's evident that, while this season has some wonderful drama, there are many duplicate plots that aren't moving the narrative forward very far. Everyone is just waiting for Spencer and Alex to reconnect and return to the ranch, and the writers understand that. These 2 journeys have been heavily milked and dragged out for the sake of it. For example, last week, why did Spencer jump off the train? Why not simply roll the scavengers off the carriage? Thank you for watching.